Hello and welcome. Now, before I say anything else, I want to ask you one question. You probably have been, trying your best, targeting the abroad, you want to run away from Nigeria, but you might want to start thinking twice about that. Just take a look at people in Texas, Houston, Texas, and how they are lining up to fetch water. You remember how you used to do it back then when you were in the hostel? In school, or maybe in NYSC camp when you carry your iron buckets early in the morning while it is still cold with your towel around your waist. You line up to fetch water. That's exactly what is going on now. So if you had plans of traveling there, maybe now might be the right time to change your mind. Well, anyways, don't mind me. I'm just having fun. I'm just bantering here and there. Thank you so much for joining. This is Unplug, brought to you by every NG. My name is Victor, and it's always a pleasure to be here bringing you updates from across the world on politics, news, entertainment, sports, every single thing. All right. And now let's get right into it. Well, big story for the day. What if those people who are supposed to protect you just abandon you and tell you to protect yourself? What are you going to do? Are you going to stand and protect yourself, or will you run after the people who are actually supposed to protect you? Just keep that question somewhere in the corner of your mind and we'll get back to it in a bit. But let's start with our entertainment stories for today. And Davido is just forging ahead, going on, making Nigeria proud as always. I was saying it the other day that the Nigerian music industry keeps on making the country proud. And Davido has taken one more step in the right direction as he was featured on Time Magazine's Time Next 100. It's a list of emerging leaders in different aspects of life, music, entertainment, politics, and the likes of them. Now, Davido had an article, a feature article about him, and the way it was done in this particular list, each person featured on the list had an article written about them by someone else. And interestingly, his own article was written by Laycon. So Davido by Laycon has been trending on social media for a while now, and it was really good to see. Laycon talked about how Davido is paving the way for people like him. So congratulations to Davido, more wins for you. And still talking about Davido now, but something a little bit different, something quite surprising. You would remember that Nengi, BB Naija Season 5 housemates, featured on Davido's Jowo music video. And even before that, we got to know that there was some kind of relationship, like a friendship between them over years now. But all of a sudden, we got to find out that Davido and Nengi have unfollowed each other on Instagram. And I'm wondering why, what is going on? So there's a friendship palava going on there, and we're still waiting for an explanation from either or both parties. Okay? Now, let's talk about Erica this time and Nengi. We're done with Davido. Erica and Nengi are facing off each other yet again as they are contesting. They have been nominated as Best Influencer of the Year by Gauge Awards. Nengi is on the list, Erica is on the list. You also have other influencers like Aisha Yesufu and Pamilari Adegoke. So Nengi and Erica are, very likely going to be going toe-to-toe, head-to-head for that particular award, and we'll see whoever wins it. At the end of the day, we'll keep you updated on that one. Now let's talk about V. If you remember very well, when V was still in the BB Naija house, it was everyone on social media that she looked so much like Naomi Campbell. I mean, they really do look alike. And V even said that Naomi Campbell is her idol. Of course, Naomi Campbell is a model and an actor, a singer as well. And V does pretty much all these things. Well, V announced excitedly on her Twitter that she finally got to meet her idol, Naomi Campbell. And the best part is that Naomi Campbell already knows who V is. And she tweeted and she was like, "Oh my God, Naomi Campbell knows who I am. I am screaming." Well, there you have it. I don't even know whether to say congratulations to her yet because I'm kind of jealous. I've not really met my idols yet, but it's a matter of time. So that is that about V. Now let's talk about Tonto DK's son. King Andre DK celebrated his 5th birthday yesterday. Yes, he turned 5 years old, and of course his mom went all out for him. It was this very beautiful photo shoot, a number of cakes surrounding him, and so much. something very interesting. Of course, you know the regular birthday presents that people give each other, you know, one thing or the other. But then his mother decided to gift him a star. And when I say a star, I mean a literal star in the sky. Well, in case you did not know before now, you can actually buy a star and have it named after yourself or after anybody else that you want it named after. And that is exactly what Tonto Dike did for her son, King Andre. And yeah, the boy also took a picture posing with the certificate of star ownership. I'm like, wow, really, really beautiful. That was a very thoughtful, very impressive gift as well. Now, Tonto Dike has been, caught up in this whole marriage saga with her ex-husband who married Rosie Moreau, who used to be Churchill's former assistant. Well, you know about that already. But Rosie Moreau took to Churchill's Instagram comments when he was celebrating his son's birthday, and she went to wish the boy happy birthday as well. A lot of people were not comfortable with that. In fact, they did not like that fact. They went under there and started bashing her, calling her all sorts of names, and they were like, wow, the effrontery that you have, the audacity to come and wish you home breaker, this and that. Oh well, who am I to do anything or say anything about that? The boy has celebrated his birthday and let bygones be bygones, okay? Now, let's talk something more serious. I asked you a question earlier on that if someone who is meant to protect you all of a sudden turns to you and tells you, look, I cannot protect you anymore, you have to protect yourself. What are you going to do? You're going to follow that person? Are you going to actually stand and protect yourself? This is basically what Nigeria's Minister of Defense is saying to Nigerians. The Minister of Defense, retired Major General Bashir Magashi, said Nigerians should learn to defend themselves. In fact, he was like, you are not cowards. You should learn to defend yourselves. So it's like insults upon injury. And he was even talking about the fact that, back in the days when, they were younger, that they would not just stand and allow people attack them and this and that. He was even trying to explain what the bandits do, that they come with limited ammunition, maybe 3 rounds in their guns, and they just fire like 2 to scare people. And everybody just runs away all of a sudden. But you say you don't have to run away. Why don't you stay and fight for your life or fight for your rights? I'm like, okay. Make of that whatever you will. But that is the message of Nigeria's Minister of Defense to the people. My job is to deliver the message. Well, anyways, to yesterday's kidnappings that happened in Government Science College, Kagara, Niger State. The number of people that were abducted, and their names have been released. There were 27 students involved, there were 3 teachers, there were a number of non-teaching staff, and 9 family members, making 42 people, now plus 1 student who was killed, making it 42 people in total that were involved in that very unfortunate incident that happened yesterday. And we're still hoping and praying that somehow these people, those who are still alive, will be brought back safely and soundly. All right, so just keep them in your prayers. Now let's move back away from all that sad news. Let's talk something a bit more encouraging. For those of you who know actor Ufot, if you've seen the movie Elevator Baby, he was one of Timini's close friends in that movie, and a couple of other movies he has starred in. He was involved in a very terrible accident on Valentine's Day. Now, this was a day when people were going about expressing love, showing love, and receiving gifts. He had to travel outside Lagos, and the accident happened somewhere in Ogun State. And according to reports, it was the driver's fault because petrol contents were spilled on the road. I think petrol or something was spilled on the road, and the driver was warned not to drive on that road, but he stubbornly decided to drive on that road. Now, it was Ufot himself who was narrating the story, that the driver stubbornly still drove on the road, and that was how they got involved in the accident. The car was burned, 4 people were burnt to death, and about 10 of them escaped with varying degrees of injuries, and he was so thankful that he was able to make it alive. Imagine that, on Valentine's Day, losing your life. But thankfully, that is not Ufot's story. And just for a hint, he has a movie that is premiering on the 26th of February. So just keep your eyes open for that one. Okay? Now let's move on. Let's talk Pretty Mike. Controversial Lagos socialites and whatever it is that people call him, Pretty Mike of Lagos. He, during Valentine's Day, showcased one particular surprise gift that was given to him. But now there are actually allegations, or there was a major allegation by somebody who works in the estate where he lives, that he did not actually get a surprise gift, that he staged everything by himself. Sometimes you talk about these things jokingly with friends that I don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend to send me a gift, so I'll just send myself a gift. Apparently, that is what Pretty Mike is being accused of. So all the drama that he, displayed on social media was all for clout. So people are dragging him, saying, Pretty Mike, you're just a clout chaser. Nobody sent you any gifts. You sent yourself the gifts. So we think that there are people who love you. Anyways, I'm not the one who said it. It's word on the streets. Okay, now Regina Daniels, of course, the beautiful young wife of Senator Ned Nwoko, shared some pictures, and it got people worried. Usually people just come in there with lovey-dovey eye emojis and all of that, but people were really worried about this one because she was looking kind of unhealthy and she lost a lot of weight. Now, if you know Regina Daniels before, she's quite plumpy and all of that. But in these particular pictures that she just shared, she looked like, she's losing weight. So people under the comments were like, what is going on with you? What is happening? If you're doing some kind of dieting or whatever it is, stop it. If it's a weight loss program, you've lost enough weight, stop it now and try and add some flesh. Well, she looked happy in the pictures anyways. Maybe that's how she wants to be now, who knows. But there you have it. And now let's talk something on the foreign scene. The other day we reported the death of Nicki Minaj's father, Robert Maraj. He was knocked down by his and run driver in not Silicon Valley, Long Island. I keep mixing the two together. On Long Island, he was hit and driver ran away. But now the driver has turned himself in, and he is a 70-year-old Charles Polovich who, tried to hide the car with which the accident happened, but he could not hide it successfully. So he turned himself in to the police. So he has been arrested, and now prosecution is going to go on. We don't know what it's going to be since he turned himself in, but still may Robert Maraj's soul rest in peace. All right. Now something for sports lovers. The UEFA Champions League match week 7 continued yesterday, and we had a couple of big games. First of all was Porto versus Juventus in Portugal. And surprisingly, Porto ran out 2-1 winners of that particular encounter. You can see Cristiano Ronaldo looking very unhappy. He was not able to, perform to the best of his abilities in that particular game. But in the second fixture between Sevilla and Borussia Dortmund were able to, put aside their recent poor form and run out 3-2 away winners in that particular game. And the star of the show was, of course, Erling Haaland. You can see him there, young face, 20-year-old, all happy and all smiles. In a couple of weeks, we'll be having the second legs of these games, so we'll see which teams qualify to the next round. And now for a bit of tennis, the Australian Open is going on right now on Rod Laver Arena. And in the bigger semi-final of the two, Naomi Osaka defeated Serena Williams. Serena Williams just cannot seem to get her hand on that 24th Grand Slam title. And that is the end of the road for her. The post-match press conference ended in tears. Literally, Serena Williams was crying and she said the words, "I am done." And she walked out of the press room. So we don't know whether she means she's actually going to retire this time. She's 39 years old. 39 years old. Naomi Osaka is just 23. So this might actually be the end of an era. But there you have it. That is all we have on Unplug for you today. Thank you so much for making it a date as always. And until next time, my name remains Victor. Don't forget to question yourself about whether you still want to travel abroad or not. Make up your mind before the next show. Goodbye.